The purpose of this project is to analyze globalization of a specific consumer product that is available to purchase as a consumer in Gainesville, Florida. The consumer product I have chosen for this assignment is, specifically, the iPhone S computational chips. The retail location that sells the specific product is at the service repair store called U-Break iFix. U-Break iFix is located on the corner of Archer and Southwest 33rd Street. This store offers repair services for most consumer purchase computers. If a specific component of a computer product stops functioning properly, is destroyed via water, dust, or usage damage, or for unknown reasons, you as a consumer have the ability to take in this product, talk to a computer specialist about the issue that you are having with your product, and they have the skill and ability to repair or replace the components of the computer device that is no longer functioning. Computers have a wide variety of components within them that are created through some of the most industrialized manufacturing processes that have been created by mankind. From the extraction of raw materials from the Earth's crust, transporting these raw products to a refining factory, transporting the refined materials to a manufacturing factory, followed by a highly complex manufacturing process, implementation of these chips onto circuit boards, and then distribution of these boards to retail or further computational manufacturing plants. This process is long, robust, and highly sophisticated. The product and service that I have specifically chosen for this project is the production of central processing chips that can be purchased by the MNC U-Break iFix, and then the products can be implanted as replacement parts for the iPhone X. In the current image, what is labeled as the motherboard is the specific component that I will be discussing in its production and how a global economy is required to produce such a sophisticated component. What components are a part of the motherboard? The actual hardware components that make up the iPhone X's motherboard are chips. Chips are made out of silicone, which don't occur naturally in nature. Silicone is typically harvested from sand, which is primarily made up of silicon dioxide. In nature, silicon can be only found in a compound with oxygen. Sand is combined with carbon in a furnace at a temperature of around 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Once this alloy combines at this extreme temperature, the carbon is able to bond with oxygen molecules and create a pure form of silicon, no longer as a compound. Typically, there is an atomic magnitude level of impurity in pure silicon, so that some electron transfer can still occur, and a current can still pass through the material. Transistors are the second fundamental component that make up chips. Transistors are the physical property on chips that allow a computer to have a switch and be at either a zero state where no current is flowing through them or one state when current is present. In this process, the silicon chip is etched with another silicon alloy, creates a positive terminal, negative terminal, and a third to make decisions and switch the gate between on and off. This compound is fundamentally made through the same process as the overall silicon chip, with different impurity levels to allow for more electron flow in the component. In 2020, we can fit about 1 billion transistors on a millimeter chip. It's an incredible process which primarily takes place in a single lab. What causes damage to the motherboard on an iPhone X? The most common two reasons why a motherboard may fail on an iPhone are from water damage corrupting the chip's ability to transmit electrical signals through the transistors, or because a battery was improperly installed in the iPhone, creating unaccounted for current levels through the iPhone system, which would cause the motherboard to overheat from an overload of electrons. How are the individual components of a motherboard produced? Apple announced in June this year that they would start producing their chips in-house and would outsource their production to the Taiwanese semiconductor manufacturing company. The most common locations to mine sand in the world are from Spruce Pine, North Carolina, USA, and in Ziyu, Jingshangyu, Fengyang, and many other Chinese rural mining locations. TSM announced that they would create a new manufacturing plant in Arizona, United States starting next year, and currently has operating plants in Hsinchu, Taiwan. In the upcoming years, mines will open up in the American Southwest, and sand will be imported from North Carolina to the Arizona plant. Currently, sand is imported from Chinese mining locations to the plant in Taiwan. Then they go through the entire manufacturing process described earlier in the video. Following the chip production, they are shipped from Taiwan via boat routes from the Nianlao port in Hsinchu and are shipped either to San Francisco or Los Angeles port in California. There, the chips are processed and then redirected to regional shipping locations of uBreak-iFix via air travel to Orlando International Airport in Florida. Then the chips travel through the distribution center and are sent to Gainesville locational store via uBreak-iFix shipping trucks. Apple designs their motherboards at their Cupertino Apple campus in California. Here, the fundamental design and development of transistor locations and optimization of chip spacing occurs. New manufacturing process ideas are thought of here, and then the designs are broken down in Hsinchu and redesigned on specific software designs from schematic drawings of circuits. Gates are optimized for perfection, orientation, and location on the chips. Those manufacturing the silicon chips, that being the Taiwanese Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, sees very little impact from the overall production of this retail product. TSM uses a sophisticated assembly multi-step line process that divides the individual processes into many different steps. Labor wages are extremely low in these factories, which allows for high profit return and cheaper production of these chips. There is several relevant policy implications for Apple iPhone X motherboard chips. These computer chips are typically imported from China and have been a part of the US tariff war that has been taking place over the last few years. Chips that are created in the United States are typically shipped out to China testing agencies that assemble the physical computers, test them, package, and ship them. These companies save money on labor costs, but now are forced to pay tariffs based on the new trade war. They also have been directly targeted by tariffs on electronic goods being imported from China, and this tariff has risen in the past 5 years from 10% to 25%. This product has implications on the developed world. China has less civil rights and freedom overall for their citizens than the United States citizens. This being said, there is no standardized minimum wage federally in China. This allows for foreign nationals and MNCs to utilize their workforce and produce goods like Apple chips with very low labor costs, allowing for cheaper production and maximizing profits potentials for shareholders. This type of labor is illegal in the United States. However, our MNCs see no issue in using what could be considered as slave labor, with suicide nets hanging from factories and manufacturing plant windows to prevent workers from hurting or killing themselves. Obtaining the natural resources to produce the pure silicon alloy is quite an environmentally unfriendly manufacturing process. Sand is extracted from the crust of our Earth, and although it is the second most abundant compound in the Earth's crust, the localized destruction of natural landscapes is something that should be addressed and known if you're using a computer. And if you live in the United States, you most likely use a computer every single day without knowing the source of it. Another environmentally unfriendly process is the process of separating the silicon from the carbon dioxide molecule. This process calls for the burning of carbon so that it will bond with the dioxide molecule to form carbon dioxide as a byproduct of the silicon compound manufacturing process. With very few environmental regulations in Taiwan and China, this carbon dioxide is burnt directly into the air.